Right at the end of the tunnel.
No, Hennessy never stopped, never settled. The last 11 regular season games, the Warriors have played without Steph Curry.
Won't they trade him then?
This is bridging seasons.
Won't you just trade him?
9-2.
Yeah. That's your analytics right there, Ernie.
That's not analytics. That's just here's some numbers.
That is some analytical stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my goodness.
How do the Warriors fight off this feeling that we have right here, right now?
You can't.
You know, because we're all kind of like, okay, we know how this is going to come out.
Ernie, you know the problem that they got, the problem the NBA got is you got the Cavaliers and the Celtics, and then you got the Warriors, the Spurs,
Rockets,
and the Rockets.
You don't like Toronto and East.
And the Wizards. You don't like the Wizards.
They're
Wizards
playing very well under the radar.
Under radar.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Do they? Can they?
What? Wow, huh?
You know, I know where you're going. Come on. I will say this, Ernie.
No, they can't beat either. They can't beat Cleveland.
The question is, how do you fight this off? You can't.
Yeah.
Because you've played in so many big playoff games that these games could never get you excited. But you also know they don't get you excited because the other team really doesn't push you when you're a championship team. They can't. They can only. Everyone says, "Oh, how does Mavericks or how does Phoenix or Memphis now? How do these guys stay in the game?" I'm like, bad teams stay in games, but there's just a 5-minute spurt, Shaq, that good teams are going to just have a spurt and then increase it. And if I beat you by 4 points every quarter, I beat you by 16 points. It's a blowout. I only have to beat you by 4 every quarter. That's how you lose. That's how bad teams lose.
And to add on to what you're saying, once you've been to the finals a lot, it's very difficult to get up for teams like Dallas. You just at some point in the game you say, okay, now it's time for us to turn on. And Golden State has always had that switch. So, Klay Thompson turned the switch. He get hot. They win the game. I knew from the beginning that they weren't going to lose the game, but, it was very interesting when Steve said at shoot-around this morning they were very lax.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, playing against the Mavericks.
Durant had 36 the fourth time he's gone, over 30 this season. Klay Thompson, 25 on the night. Want to add anything to this before we move on?
Man, it's just missing 3 starters. They were screwing around, like Steve Kerr said, the day of shoot-around, and still win by 20.
Man, think if they were serious.
Yep.
At shoot-around.
They are 23-6 now. So, Chuck, are you saying if she was from San Antonio?
Hey, Sam R., let me tell you something. I got to tell you something. I was shooting commercials in San Antonio a couple weeks ago, and I want to apologize.
What you want to apologize about?
Man, they got some great Mexican food down there.
Oh, the food.
The food's great. It ain't just churros.
You have some on the Riverwalk down there?
No, I didn't go to the river.
You apologizing for real?
They make that guacamole right there at the table,
I stayed at one of the best hotels I ever stayed at, called the Hotel Emma.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's unbelievable.
Oh,
So you apologizing for real, Chuck?
No. It's unbelievable. It's a brand new
You
hotel.
apologizing for real?
I'm not apologizing them big old women down there. But I'm telling you, the Hotel Emma.
How big are the women?
Are you happy now?
How big are they?
Bingo, what up?
How big are they?
Oh,
LeBron in the cab.
Oh, they big. They eat good in the neighborhood. There's a reason why.
Steph Curry's not playing. Draymond Green's not playing.
Because the floor is shrink.
It's shrink or it's shrunk?
Shrink, whatever.
Shrunk.
I mean, when you don't
Honey, I shrunk the kids.
When you don't have those guys out there, those other guys aren't 3-point shooters. And when you keep Steph, you can't leave Steph. Draymond keeps you a little bit honest because he's not a great shooter, but he can at least keep you honest. So they don't have that floor space. They got David West out there. They got the little Bell kids. They just don't have that space to be out there shoot all them three-pointers.
What are you laughing about?
The little Bell kid.
The little.
Like, I know it's Christmas time, so the little Bell
Hey, let me tell you something. That kid should have won in the first round of the draft.
The little Bell kid should have gone in.
Yes, he should have won in the first round of the
He's
draft.
an aim-high product as well. He played with me as well. So.
38th pick.
But, yeah, 38th pick. But, it really shows how great a player Steph Curry is because everyone always looks at points, assists, the statistical things that are in the paper, rebounds. But I always say one of the greatest things that makes a superstar is pace of the game. The pace of the game is totally different. He makes you play fast. Doesn't matter who's walking in the building, you say to beat the Golden State Warriors when Steph Curry's on the floor, you have to play fast. And if you can play fast, you can beat us. But I don't care. You're going to play fast.
Yeah. Don't
They are not
48 points in the first
They
half.
are not playing
that
fast.
averages
They're not playing
117.
fast. They're not playing fast.
And if
that's a superstar.
If there is something that does stick out about Golden State on the other side of the ledger, it is the turnover, because they're 27th in the league, Shaq.
Well, I think they're playing down because, they're playing the Mavericks. I think I heard Kevin McHale say that Steve Kerr didn't like the attitude and shooting around, and it's showing. They got 10 turnovers. Not going to talk much, Kenny. I need your assistance.
Okay. What do you
show
need?
all the 10. All the
Oh, this is not Harlem Globetrotter. This is more like Benny Hill.
No, is
Shaq, you're adding nothing.
I like that remix, Kenny. Okay.
Must have been all 10 turnovers accounting for 13 down.
Good talk.
Yeah, that was nice.
You
threw me off guard with that one.
in your mind, is Golden State any more vulnerable given what Houston has been doing so far in the regular season?
No. Listen, what James Harden, MVP frontrunner, is doing, Mike D'Antoni, what those Chris Paul, what those guys are doing is incredible. But as I told you, they still got to beat those Golden State Warriors 4 times in a week. And you're not going to outscore the Golden State Warriors. The big difference is defensively. Clay is a great defender. Draymond's a great defender. Kevin Durant's a great defender.
I thought about you last week too, Chuck.
When you were Christmas shopping for me?
No, I was Christmas shopping, yeah. But we were talking about, Ernie, we thought there was a stat given to both of us, and we looked at it, and both of us looked at each other when they were saying, oh, Houston's a good defensive team. Now, granted, I think that they're going to be around differently than they were last year. But we were like, I don't think they're a good defensive team. I think the stats are kind of weighed and skewed a certain way to make you believe they are. And then I watched the game last week when they gave up 77 points in the first half or something like that. I'm like, well, this is what we're talking about. It's the style of play sometimes leads these statistics to lead a certain way. It's the same way it could inflate your averages. If you're making more possessions, of course you're gonna score more points.
That's where the metrics come in with the offensive and defensive ratings.
Yeah, but the rating is incorrect if you can give up 77 points in a half. The Detroit Pistons in our era, the Los Angeles Lakers in that era, the Golden State Warriors at times in this era, they're not giving up 70 to 80 points in a half.
And on the bottom line is, I look at the players. I told you, these people who love analytics, that's just something they wanted their son-in-law to have a job so he wouldn't be at the house. Listen, the team with the best players go win.
Shrink, Shrank, Shrunk sounds like Charles going through his old clothes.
He's the fun. That was a good one, Lee.
That was good, Lee.
That's outstanding. Any response, Chuck?
No, that was
Way to hold your quiet.
Where did you keep your clothes at, though?
I'm shrinking. And Lee, I'll come over there and come to your mama's house and get some of old clothes, too.
Welcome to the American Express Halftime Report. American Express, the official card of the NBA.
And you've taken us out here to the floor.
Yes.
For what reason?
Well, we talked earlier in pregame about LeBron James being able to play forever.
He'll be 33 at the end of the month.
And we talk about the lack of physicality in the NBA, which allows guys to play differently and play easier. Because freeze it here. In the era that, these guys have played in, the Shaqs and the Charles and even myself.
We call it the man era.
Okay, there's no way that you can bring the basketball up and there's no one touching
without being pressured.
Or pressured. So as the play goes on, there's no one that ever gets touched. There's any pressure. See, if he didn't like that shot, he does it. LeBron James is the best player in the world. Freeze it. There's no defensive pressure or touching because of the new rules in the current state. So here's a guy who can play probably forever in this type of environment. And so you swing the ball around. No one's ever been touched once they get on the perimeter, and then you can just get wide open threes, and if you don't like it, take it later. That is the difference between the era. They always ask me, what would Shaq have done in this era? Or Charles. I said, Charles would have probably scored a chameleon points. And I was like, Shaq would have maybe a kabillion. Because there's no touching.
And how about you? Just a million.
$1 million. Because and we're gonna bring Jason out, because I'm not gonna put our guys on Jason, and we'll bring Shaq and them later. At the era, and even Ernie, it allows you to look like you.
Just for the record, Jason, ain't no team bad enough to put you in a real game.
Yeah, let's say.
Jason can shoot it.
He's great in IT, but he's not great in it. But it gives the ability that you can handle the basketball even for certain guys, and they go, whoa, and it's like a drill and it's like a cone. Because there's no hand checking, when he comes and I come here and I don't like it, now I can come back, I can set you up, I can throw it between my legs, then I can go into my move. In the era that we kind of grew up in, when you make your move and the hand is there and you try to reset, the hand is still on you, so you're not allowed to look.
You can steer him wherever you want him.
You don't even look as impressive with your ball handling ability. But again, shooting threes and getting off the dribble are the two things that you have. Charles had that easily. Shaq, great ball handler for a big, underrated. So now I don't like it. I get to an area of the floor. All I have to have is a pullback dribble to get to a spot to shoot the ball. So
One of your first misses on
huge difference.
So what are we going to do with Shaq here?
Well, because the other thing is, Shaq, if in the era of hand checking, you hand check, I do get by you, and I come in here, what's happening? Oh. That's what's happening.
Chasing right into the point.
And it is a team fight because the physicality is different. So it allows guys to get in the areas of the floor. If you're not a great shooter, Ben Simmons, he's like, I don't care because I am a great shooter from here because you can't hand check me.
Yep.
That's a big difference.
So let's take a look at the American Express teammates from the first half. LeBron James leading the way for Cleveland with 16. Kevin Love's got 13, and you see their numbers. Do we have time for Shaq's picks real quick?
Yes.
Because you're talking about Lonzo Ball, who in the first half, 7 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists.
You know, at times he's playing very tentative, but tonight he's playing with a lot of aggression. He's playing against his idol. He's doing pretty good, you know. At the beginning of the game, they said he, parroting his game after LeBron right there. LeBron makes a lazy pass. He almost blew his knee out right there, but he made the layup. Right here, this is what he does the best. He gets the ball. He always makes the right decision. I probably would have went up for the dunk to let LeBron know I'm here. Right here, he's not really confident in that shot.
That's a great look.
That's what he does right there. He's passing the ball. So he's playing a little bit aggressive. I still would like to see a lot more aggression.
What you going to say, Chuck?
I want to say something. First of all, I can't believe people be running at this dude. He wants to pass the ball every time. I would make him shoot the ball. He makes moves sometimes, and you can see his mind says, these guys are stupid. They're gonna try to guard me. Dude, just back up. Make him shoot the ball because he wants to pass the ball. But I tell you what's going to be interesting on the Cavaliers part of this, the Isaiah Thomas thing. Isaiah is a terrific player, but he needs the ball. You look at Oklahoma City, one reason they're struggling, they got 3 guys who need the ball to be.
Could he beat Kyrie then? Kyrie?
No.
Could he do what Kyrie did? That's what you got to think about. There it is.
I don't think he's as good a shooter as Kyrie.
Okay.
But also, what's going to happen is Kevin Love's not going to get the ball. You saw Reggie talking about it. It's not going to be that easy. People think when you put a bunch of talent together.
Never seen Charles run like that in my life. None of us have, Matt.
Hey, Matt, just for the record, I can get some tape on it, man.
That's what happens.
Chuck, you kind of had the look on your face when Shaq is wearing back the punch in that.
Don't get fooled by the handle because there ain't no hand check.
Welcome to the American Express Halftime Report. American Express.